Malachi 4:3. And you shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. See, it's not about just plain being black no more. It's about the righteous black and the unrighteous black. The unrighteous black are the devil's advocate. They'll go along with this wicked system.
Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb, for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has came and gone. It's definitely the day of the Lord.
In slave doctrine, I'm trying to get at that point. You're not advising me, which you could not. You could advise me to leave America. That would be against the friendship of America and yourself. I'm not even asking for that. Well, I'm asking this to show me this truthfully, whether or not that the idea that the two sets is on the table now. One group is working for separation, total separation, while another group is working for a total merging in. What makes sense? If that people has already been enslaved for 400 years, under the same people, and are suffering injustice at the hand of that people, at the very moment, what makes sense to try now to ask the man, the master, to change his mind and allow the man to live in more better, comfortable peace with you? If he wants to go, since you have freedom, you said you freedom.
Yes.
If he wants to go from you,
I'll tell you what.
even the privilege of going for
Because things change from time to time. Because if Negroes would demand, for example, 20 years ago, the things that they are demanding today, they would be cut down in the streets.
Yeah, they would.
Much more often than they are. They're still cut down in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But they would be cut down much more than they are today. Now, how do we account for that? Why is it that the white people are willing now more to grant the demands of some Negroes than they were 20 years ago?
Yeah, because of the time that
More often than they are. They're still cut down in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But they would be cut down much more than they are today. Now, how do we account for that? Why is it that the white people are willing now more to grant the demands of some Negroes than they were 20 years ago?
Yeah, because of the time that have arrived.
Well, I hope that time will arrive when they will be able to live together in peace.
But
My faith.
you weren't able to do it. Your people was not able to do it. The
Well,
Japanese,
to me,
the Chinese, and the other people, races of the people, was not able to do
Well,
it.
England and France fought for many hundreds of years. Now they don't fight anymore.
But
Germany and France just fought, as it may be, I think and hope will be able to be overcome. I don't see any other solution myself, you see. I cannot see the mechanism of any other solution. I'm not saying, by the way, that the future of the Negro is rosy and that everything will be solved in this country. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm only saying that so far as I can see, this is the road that it has to take. It may not ever go far enough along that road, but that's the road that it must take. I'm
trying to solve the problem by the two races living.
I don't see it as the two races living together and coming together. I think that is very, very far off. For example, look at Jews and Christians. Look at what they have been doing. I mean, certainly all of the light-colored people
have had the freedom to discolor my people, but we haven't had that kind of freedom to discolor your people. You are too intelligent for that. But we have been too dumb and too weak to oppose you. And now, since we are not strong enough yet to oppose you, we want to go from you to stop you from destroying us.
I think that, yes, I understand that, and let me put it this way. I think that even the road that I regard as the proper one for the relationship between Negroes and whites in this country, I think even that road will produce separation. Because I believe that as the Negro develops his own demands and his own ideas and wants to be his own master, even though he preaches, or even though they, for example, Martin Luther King and others may preach integration, they are really separating. Whether they talk integration or they don't talk integration, they are really separating to a certain extent.
To a certain extent,
they are really separating no matter what they say they're doing.
They are.
And I think that this kind of separation is a kind of...
Okay, I want to out-talk Elijah.
To the ultimate coming together of the two groups on a basis of equality. But to hold out the ideal of separation forever and for eternity, I mean, this is something that I can't accept. Now, it may only be emotionally that I can't accept it. I don't know whatever it may be, but that's the way I feel. I think that, for example, I think that all of these terms that we use, we draw these distinctions too sharply. I don't think that those who preach separation preach ultimate and absolute separation. I think those who preach integration are not really preaching ultimate integration. I think that those who talk about nonviolence are not always nonviolent and are always really involved in violence, whether they create it or not, but they are frequently involved in violence matters. Whereas those who say they are against nonviolence are not necessarily always involved in violence. So I think that these terms are, in a way, imprison us and make it difficult for us to understand what's going on in the world.
But you know what? That it creates violence. Even for us to preach nonviolence and even act on the principle of it. You know why that violence, arises. It's due to your brothers that don't want to accept anything like justice towards us. He makes the trouble, as he has always made it. Yes, because he has a free horse here that he has punished for a long time, and the horse now may rise his feet and kick up. He don't want to be harnessed by the same rider, and he wants to go without the rider, the saddle. And so this master, he still wants to force the horse. So the horse is not bothering the master at all. He just wants to bring over getting a passage to himself.
A real man wants to be governed by self. His woman, the black man's woman, that became accustomed to the white man being her daddy, her man, and punktified the black man. She punktifies her son. I'm Black Light. Stay tuned.